Great. So let's jump into content. So a few key concepts. Concept one is that topics are the new keywords. So when Bernard and I started, we would have one page per keyword. And so we were doing keyword level targeting, and ads, paid search is the same. We're targeting individual keywords or broad match keywords. Now we're targeting topics, and a topic is like a concept or a single URL or a single article. So for the how to set up an options plan, that is a concept with a single article, and that article is ranking many different keywords versus one page per keyword. And here's an example of that, and this is interesting. So if we look at how to set up an options plan, actually nobody's even typing that in. So and we didn't know that, but if you look at the topic level, it's popular, and so people are typing in things like employee stock option plan. And I might not think that to add employee, so I don't even necessarily know what the keyword should be, but I know the concept of the topic. So then we want to find the keywords that are mapping to that. So employee stock, and you'll see that it's similar but not quite the same. So example, or for startups specifically, or a template. And if we had an article that didn't have an example, or it didn't talk about startups, it only talked about non-startups, we're not fulfilling the intent of that topic. So it's important to understand the keywords that map to this topic so that we can understand all the different subtopics. And the other thing is the opportunity. So if we looked at how to set up an options plan, we would never make a page about it, because we would say that there's nobody searching for it. But the actual search volume for this topic is thousands of people. And when we're prioritizing this versus something else, we want to know the search volume of the topic, not of the single keyword. And we would be wildly inaccurate and make bad decisions if we only looked at this one keyword. So this is super important. The next thing is topical authority. And this ties back to the prioritization of conversion keywords versus awareness keywords. But topical authority is a new page rank. So page rank that people know about is based on backlinks, and the more backlinks, the more page rank. And that's gotten more complex and more robust since then. And so there are new inputs into authority, and then authority has topical relevance. So the new inputs to authority are social shares, branded search, anchor text for backlinks. If we're buying a bunch of ads on the options plan page, that gives us authority. So there are more inputs than backlinks, and the inputs are applied to a particular topical area. So if we have a bunch of backlinks and branded search about options plan, but not about credit cards, we're going to rank for options plan. We're not going to rank for credit cards. And so not only are we looking at our authority overall, but we're looking at where it applies. And and this is an example with Brex. So branded search, people type in the brand and then they type in a phrase. So branded search plus Brex plus credit card. So now we have more authority for anything containing credit card. We have more topical authority for keywords containing corporate. And even if we're just ranking for something and we have good engagement, like a vision statements, we're going to rank better for that as well. Same with LLC, and you'll see Brex ranking for a bunch of LLC type queries. So their topical authority are all of these words. So the simple way to assess what your topical authority is just go in Google Search Console and look what you're ranking for, and that's where you have topical authority. And again, we are ranked relative to other companies. So Brex is ranked when they are competing on LLC tax benefits. We're not competing with Wikipedia necessarily. We're competing with the other results that are ranking for LLC tax benefits. So it's all relative. So MasterClass. When MasterClass started, they did not have authority for food or for photography. They had authority for the names of the celebrities. So they had authority for Gordon Ramsay or Anna Leibovitz, but not for pizza. And when we started, we did topics that were adjacent to that. So rather than talking about pizza and salad, we talked about beef Wellington, or we talked about salmon, which Gordon Ramsay is known for. So we have topical relevance for Gordon Ramsay, and then we have topical relevance for topics that are adjacent to Gordon Ramsay, which are things that he is known for, versus food in general. And so we started with beef Wellington, salmon, burger, and then we expanded out from there. So back to the example, back to the funnel, and the question about where to start. We want to start with what we're known for, but then we can expand out from that halo. And we can prioritize topics based on opportunity and not just on volume. So we talked about the topics being the sum of the volume for all the different keywords. So for gross revenue, it's, or let's take types of LLC. So it's the sum of all these. And then it's also where we're topically authoritative. So Brex, for example, is again authoritative for LLC. So we pulled out, if we were to work with Brex at Graphite and we used our strategy, these are the first topics that we would focus on. And again, this is based on what's popular, but also Brex specifically is going to outrank for these types of topics faster. And LLC in particular, we want to focus on. So this is how we would do an initial topic strategy for Brex. And Bernard asked ways to generate more of these types of branded searches. Yeah, so how do we grow more branded search? And the way that we grow more branded search is brand marketing in general. So if we buy a TV ad like Ticketmaster, or sorry, TripAdvisor will do TV ads saying, go to Google and type in, you're traveling to Santa Monica, type in Santa Monica Hotels TripAdvisor, which is a great way to get people to type in TripAdvisor and a city name. And every time somebody types in TripAdvisor Santa Monica, they rank higher for anything containing Santa Monica and hotels. So brand marketing, TV ads, display ads, YouTube ads. MasterClass buys a ton of YouTube ads. And then when people watch that, they go to Google and type in MasterClass Gordon Ramsay. So there's a bunch of different ways to grow branded search, but in general, it's brand marketing. So we identified any advice on taking advantage of an exact match domain? Yeah, so an exact match domain. Good question. An example there would be, let's do Chase Center seating chart. And SeatGeek is number one. So this is a good example. So SeatGeek has the word seat in the domain. And what used to happen is that because SeatGeek has seat in it and the query is seating, we will rank for that because it's in the domain. And that's actually not true anymore. However, we will, because the word seat is in the name, people will type in SeatGeek, or like SeatGeek, promo code. And we are now getting relevance for seat as a result of this branded search and anchor text and share. So if you link to SeatGeek, it's like SeatGeek, Chase Center. And so there's not a direct transference of exact match domain for SeatGeek, but there is a secondary or indirect benefit of branded search, shares, anchor text that all contain seat. And so you'll see SeatGeek ranks really well for seating charts, even though they don't have anything special about seating charts relative to Ticketmaster, and then Ticketmaster outranks for anything containing tickets. So there's a secondary benefit of tokens in your domain. Honey ranks for things containing honey. So Honey, for a period of time, ranked for Honey is a coupon site, and they ranked for honey baked ham, but they didn't have coupons for honey baked ham because honey was in the query. So tokens or words in the domain can impact authority via indirect signals. And how do you calculate topical authority? So the way that you calculate topical authority, the best way to calculate it is to just look at your search console and look at your top queries, and that's where you have topical authority. That's a shorthand for how to measure it. The secondary way to do that is to look at anchor text for backlinks, look at which pages are shared the most, and then branded search. So, or actually, let's do clear scope, and I will look at keyword discovery, and I'll type in Brex, and then I'll look at all the different words and phrases that co-occur with Brex. So like credit card here, or card, or business card valuation. So all of these things are where we have topical authority for Brex. So this is how we can measure it. And then we can measure this relative to others. So how many people type in ramp credit card or Silicon Valley Bank credit card? And then how do we compare relative to them? And that's how we can calculate topical authority. Have you considered doing an n-gram analysis? Yes. So that's exactly what we'll do. So we'll take Search Console, we'll do an n-gram analysis. So an n-gram analysis is where we break this up into words and phrases. So the word card occurs this many times in business and valuation. And so yeah, we'll do an n-gram analysis to measure that. Cool. So we've figured out where the opportunity is. We've figured out the right page types for the different intent clusters. We've sized them. We've prioritized which pages we want to rank, create in what order. And now we want to make some amazing content. And Google says make good content, which is great. And so I'll write an article and I'll say that I think that it's good, and nobody finds it, and it doesn't rank that well. And good content is not subjective in this case; it's algorithmically assessed. And ultimately, what the bot is looking for, it's a few different things, but it's especially looking for comprehensiveness. And let me show you an example with butter lettuce. So with butter lettuce, for example, MasterClass ranks for butter lettuce. And the reason why they rank for butter lettuce is because it's, among other reasons, it's comprehensive. So if you look at butter lettuce and the topic level, it's ranking for hundreds of different keywords. And it's ranking for things other than concepts other than butter lettuce, like, is it healthy? Or how does it compare with bib or romaine lettuce? Is it good for you? What are the health benefits? What are the nutritional values? So people are clearly interested in the health aspect of butter lettuce. And so when we're figuring out the what content we want to put on the article, we want to look at the different themes. So for stock options, again, employees versus startups versus examples versus incentive, different types of stock. And we want to make sure that we're figuring out the right outline. And so whenever we're publishing an article, we want to figure out what that outline is. And there's a few different inputs. So one is what the different themes are within the keywords that we're targeting. We can also run a clear scope report and look for themes for that. So here for butter lettuce, we're looking at folate. People mention folate when they're writing about butter lettuce and the health benefits. So these are all inputs to tell us what themes are people interested in when they're searching for butter lettuce or a stock options plan. And this is, again, a key way where we can outperform others. So part of the reason why MasterClass ranks for butter lettuce over Food Network is that Food Network has gaps in its content. It's not comprehensive. And so it's not fulfilling the intent of that whole keyword cluster. And a big competitive advantage as well is that I think most people only target the head term query. So we are only looking at butter lettuce. We're not looking at the health benefits or how it compares with bib lettuce. So if we have a great clear scope score for butter lettuce, but we do not for healthiness. So here, the MasterClass article, for example, has a great clear scope score for butter lettuce, but it has a B- for healthiness. We're not fulfilling the intent of that. We won't rank as well. So we'll try to typically do 2 to 5 different clear scope reports, and we'll look for themes. So let's get one about healthiness. Let's get one contrasting it with bib or romaine lettuce, and then the head term. If we only look at butter lettuce, then we're missing out on all these other themes. And you'll see, again, MasterClass is actually underperforming on the healthiness. So if we added, if we optimize for that health theme, we would rank better for that. And most people don't do that. So I always recommend 2 to 5 roughly clear scope reports, such that we cover all of the different themes of the keywords in that cluster. What do you think about splitting out a subtopic intent? Yeah, so health benefits for butter lettuce. So should that be a separate article, or should we add that to the article about butter lettuce? And a good way to look at that is to see if the results are the same for 2 queries. So are the results for butter lettuce and is butter lettuce health? Or let's do butter lettuce and health benefits of butter lettuce. Butter lettuce and health benefits. So basically, are these all the same results, or are they different results? And you'll see here, yeah, most of these are not mentioning health benefits. And we see Healthline, Basmati, Everyday Health here, and it looks, actually they are not overlapping. Yeah, so actually in this case is interesting. We might actually want to break this out into a separate article. But if all these results for butter lettuce and health benefits of butter lettuce, if all of these were the same, then that's saying that a single article can fulfill the intent of these two different ones. If they're different, that means that Google thinks that we need two separate articles. So that's how we think about whether or not we have two articles or whether or not we combine it all into a single article. Optimizing a single article. Yes. So question from Olivia is optimizing a single article for multiple keywords. Yes, and many keywords. So this article about butter lettuce, we're targeting 300 different keywords. The options plan, we're targeting hundreds of different keywords. So we're usually targeting at least 100 keywords per topic or per page, not just one. What if there are 2 to 3 have? Yeah. So if the overlap isn't 10 results overlapping, it's 1 result, or it's 2 to 3 results, how do we think about merging and splitting? And I guess I would say pick a number and then test it and see. So if there's 2 to 3, that's a decent amount of overlap. So let's just write one article about butter lettuce and see if it ranks for health benefits. And then if it does, great. And if it doesn't, then maybe we split it. So I think we would use intuition to decide whether it's 10 results or 2 to 3, and then test it. And in the case of MasterClass, we actually are ranking for health benefits. So in this case, maybe we don't need a separate article. And you do clear scope report for all of those keywords. So should we run 300 different clear scope reports? That would be great, but we would need Bernard to give I think we would need a discount in order to run 300 reports. So I would run reports for themes. So we don't need to run a report for both is butter lettuce healthy and health benefits of butter lettuce. It's going to be similar. Or like butter lettuce versus great butter lettuce, or what is butter lettuce? It's the same concept. So we don't need to run a clear scope report for every single keyword. We want to run it for the primary themes of keywords that we want to rank for.
Now, if you liked this ClearScope webinar snippet, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe so you don't miss out on more great tips and strategies from the industry's best SEOs and content marketers. Make sure to check out the ClearScope YouTube channel for more great content.